Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Victory in Business Success Call. We have this every Monday at 1:15 Mountain Time, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. This is an accountability call, so we always spend some time on accountability, but I also occasionally like to bring in some learning points. So today I have something for us to talk about. As we all know, most of us are entrepreneurs. We're in business for ourselves. And so I believe that mindset around money is so important. And it is something that sometimes some of us avoid talking about. We avoid talking about mindset around money. I know for myself, I've had my own mindset issues around money. So I really found this subject very interesting, and I wanted to bring it to you today. Hello, Anne. Welcome. We will see who else joins us today because I know it's a holiday week. It's Thanksgiving week, so it might be a little light, but I'm so happy to have all of you here. And so I do have a question for you to get started. What do you think determines your financial success? Okay. Some of you might think it's your education or your background, or maybe high-end, or maybe it's how hard you work or whether you have perseverance or not. Any input on that question? What do you think determines your financial success?
Well, I believe it's your belief system, your mindset, for sure. You come from a long line of that, you got a big battle ahead.
Right. Anyone else want to put any input in there?
Hard work.
Yeah.
Planning.
Yep. Okay, so
This is the mindset.
Yep. I definitely think it's a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what determines our mindset with money is really all of the above. A lot of people think that they can't make a lot of money because they're not educated, or they think that if they don't work hard, they won't become affluent, or they think a certain way because of their background, because of how they grew up. Like Anne said, if you grew up in certain circumstances, whatever it is you're used to. I can tell you, for me, it was just that money was never important. Like money was never really discussed. I grew up in a middle-class home that we never really needed anything. Yes, there was comments like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or, what do you want me to do? Just go, whatever. So there were
Rockefeller's daughter.
Yeah, these limiting beliefs that gets imprinted on us, with more money comes more problems. That's one I heard. I don't know exactly where, but I heard that a lot. I heard like, oh, you know what, if you have a lot of money, you just have a lot of problems because then it's extra taxes, it's extra this. So we all have our stuff around money, but there are really actually 5 most common money blocks. And I want to go through these money blocks with you today. And I want you to see if you can identify which 1 or 2 or 3 of these blocks might be part of your belief system. And then next week, I will go through how can we solve those blocks, or how can we beat those blocks. Okay, so today we're going to identify the blocks. And then next week, we'll talk about how to beat those blocks. Okay. So block number 1 is called the evasive block. Okay. So this block doesn't want you to acknowledge the importance of money, or the importance of balancing your finances. So this is the one I identified as my block. So what it does is it keeps you away from paying attention to how much you're spending or how much you have in your bank account. So you just don't pay attention to your money. You just kind of have money coming in and going out, but you don't really give it much attention. So that one is called the evasive block. So you just don't put any importance on money. The second block that was identified is the fearful block. Okay, so if you are really afraid of spending too much money, you hold onto your money for all you are worth. Or you suffer from buyer's remorse when you buy anything. You're immediately like, oh my gosh, why did I buy that? Okay, so chances are that this fearful block lives very deep inside you, and it's responsible for making you feel anxiety when you spend money, even on things that you really, really need, right? So that is the fearful block. Then the third one is the comforting block. Okay, so this one masks itself and it pretends to be your friend. It takes you on shopping sprees and wants you to feel infatuated with that rush of getting new things, right? That excitement of buying yourself things. But before you know it, you're hooked on the habit of shopping and you just buy things that you really don't need because it's a temporary solution to make you feel better. Okay, so this one kind of comforts you when you're feeling any kind of anxiety or sadness. You know, we all know that. I think I know that one a little bit too.
So far it's oops, oops, and oops.
Okay, so then there's the undeserving block. This block goes above and beyond to make you feel unworthy of having more money. So whenever you accomplish a goal or a milestone, it makes you think that it was luck that got you there, not necessarily your skills or your talent or your unique gifts, right? So this one is called the undeserving block. So I don't deserve to get money. All right. And then the last one is the disrespectful block. So this one is interesting because this one doesn't allow you to take money seriously enough. And as a result, you don't make money a priority. So money isn't, again, that's probably one of mine too. Like money isn't a priority. It's not something that I put a lot of value to. And guess what? This is exactly why you haven't established a successful relationship with money yet. You just don't pay attention. So there are the 5 blocks. We have the evasive block, the fearful block, the comforting block, the undeserving block, and the disrespectful block. Interesting. So there's more, but those are the 5 most common ones. Yes, Anne, you're muted.
I know.
Yeah.
I
know, you guys.
For Americans, that means ouch. So, yeah. By the way, it looks to me like they actually snowball themselves, like each other. They totally related, and if you've got the one, you've more than likely got the other. So
yeah, you more than likely have at least 2 of those, if not 3. Okay, so I can totally identify with 1 definitely, 2 most likely, and 3 kind of. Okay, so I want you to look at those and I want you to identify them. And next week, I'm going to come to you with what can you do to get past those money blocks. All right, so that'll be our call next week. Anyone else want to make an observation about the money blocks? Any thoughts, any input, any feelings come up for you?
Well, I mean, I got 100% on that test.
Oops.
But yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, there's, and you know, you're obviously seeing, but I did get a really fantastic oracle card today, though, because it's coming, you know, that whole situation of like knowing yourself so well that you see your value and then you can open your mouth and say so.
Right, right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have 3.
3 that you can definitely identify.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Kat?
I think there's like aspects of all 5 of them, definitely. Yeah.
Right, right. And again, it comes back to our belief systems, our paradigms. Those of you, almost all of you have done Show Up with me. You know, we talk about paradigms, and there's definitely a lot of paradigms regarding money in our lives because we all grow up under the mindsets of our parents or our mentors, or people that we really, really respect. And, you know, I just always, for me, I know, I just never, for me, it was always about what value am I bringing to the world, not what am I getting in return for it, right? And we think we're being humble when we think that way. I always thought to be money conscious is to be greedy, or to be money conscious is to be, money shouldn't be that important. Money isn't important. But the truth is that it is, because our lives revolve around money. If we don't have money to pay our bills, we are miserable. And if we are miserable, we cannot serve our customers. We cannot live our best and fullest life.
Right.
Okay. So next week, I will come to you with those solutions. Sorry to make you wait, but.
I do have something to add here as well, since I have a lot of personal experience in this situation, about the fact that when you are stressed out about meeting basic needs, your part of your brain that actually has creativity, that actually can put out, is like totally shut down.
It's shut down, yes.
Yeah, if you're sitting in your lizard brain and you have to go running out and doing everything else except for what you really put on this earth to do, it's actually critical to stay out of that. And the only way you can do that is make money. And again, catch 22. If you're sitting in that brain, and it's like a chicken egg.
Exactly. So it comes back to that survival mode, which puts your focus on the problem. And as long as you're focusing on the problem, you're going to stay in the problem. It's really hard to get into a solution mindset when you're in survival mode. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like you said, it's a catch-22, because to get out of that survival mode into a mindset where you are solving problems, you have to get into the mindset of solving the problems, or focusing on the good and the positive rather than the negative. And so it's a double-edged sword, but there are ways, right?
If I think back on like all the jobs I've ever had, I actually avoided handling money every single time. I'm putting a petty cash box. Nah, thanks. You give it to somebody else.
Right.
And every single event that I always did, the other person did the money side. I never even saw it. I didn't even look at it.
And what happens there, Anne, is you don't create a relationship with money at all.
It's actually disrespecting them.
Right. And you just avoid money altogether. And when you avoid money altogether, right. So anyway, I think we got that down, and I'm glad we tackled this today, because I think it's such an important thing to be aware of. Again, my thing is awareness. When I talk about posture, when I talk about confidence, when you talk about body language, when I talk about awareness is number one. So that awareness of what your money blocks are is the first step to being affluent, to being financially, financially free, financially successful.
That was a mic drop, really. For me today, it was a huge mic drop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A pleasure. I'm so glad, you guys. I'm so glad. I really make it my business to look around for subject matters that will be helpful to you guys.
Especially as I'm on the verge of putting this big old video together, because this is 8 years of and more
coming together, and it's looking fabulous. All right. Okay, so we have 15 minutes left, and I want to take these 15 minutes and do a little Q&A. Last week, we did a Q&A that was really, really helpful. It was amazing, but it requires you to tell me what your challenges are at the moment and how can we help you. So anybody have something that they feel right now they need some assistance with? Something in your business that has you stuck, maybe?
So what?
And
I need to have a really good call. As you can see, there's hardly any call to action on that video. It's just really for information as such. But that is what I need a call to action for. And I've got about at least 5 different demographics that I can.
Okay, so how are you going to incorporate the call to action? Are you going to, so you guys, just so
Maybe
you
at
know,
the end.
Nelia and Kat, Anne created this documentary video for the program that she teaches, and she works with people with mental disabilities and physical disabilities, right? And so now she did this documentary with this client who's been working with her for 8+ years, and he has Parkinson's, right? Parkinson's disease, and he talks about how she helped him through the physical work that they do to improve his symptoms. And so now she wants to know, what are the best calls to action? So what are your 5 populations that you want to market to?
So there would be the Parkinson's community.
Yeah.
There would be, the seniors, okay, of all kinds.
Seniors.
Assisted living facilities, like corporate, which have like branches in, Arizona, Florida, California, and on and on. So that's number 2. Fitness professionals that work with seniors and older adults. Caregivers, especially caregivers, because I tell you, Victoria is going through this CNA course, and I can't believe how much abuse she's going through. It's unbelievable. But she says she's understanding. I mean, there's just little things, like she says they got to pull this blanket to get the people to roll over. And I said, "Are there handles on it?" She goes, "No."
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding me? Anyway,
Right.
so there's all those people, and then the 5th one would be, Alzheimer's or any other thing. Because my friend Carrie just sent me a whole lot of research for the brain and how it actually is the most latest stuff she's doing with the Drums Alive program, about how movement to music is the best thing for keeping your brain alive, because it enlists the fascia. And that's the whole point of my programming, is that you're dealing with your muscle memory bank. Lots of people don't know they have one.
So Anne, this documentary video, I know you're so excited about this, and it's wonderful. And it fires me up too. I think it's amazing. You're definitely going to have a very different call to action for each one of those populations.
That's why I'm
the Parkinson's, the seniors, and the Alzheimer's, the call to action for those 3 will be pretty similar.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool.
So that one will be pretty similar.
Yeah.
The one for fitness pros, I'm a pro at, because with fitness pros, it's really about them having another revenue stream, right? So you give them the opportunity to stop exchanging time for money alone. So you're giving them another modality they can teach for their seniors, but you're also offering them the opportunity to certify other trainers so they can become master trainers for you. This one's going to be huge, because this one is going to be your passive income.
Yeah, because that's going to give people who are not jocks a chance to actually teach wellness and fitness. Someone who understands, like a nurse.
Well, right, but it doesn't matter, because so for caregivers and trainers, you have the same call to action. Would you like to add another revenue stream to your business? Here is an opportunity for you to earn more for less time. Okay. Don't exchange time for money. Come and become certified to teach my program, and you can earn. And then what we will do is we'll put together a compensation plan for you. So you can say to them, if you want to know the earning opportunities, let me know. I'll send you my compensation plan. Meaning, and this is helpful for you too, Nelia and Kat, because you're both writing education, right? So this is how you market your education. You say to them, this is another revenue stream. Here is how they're going to stop just earning money for time, exchanging dollars for hours, hours for dollars. Because if they come teach for you, out of the $299 that trainers are paying to become certified, you're going to earn $199 per person in your class for this, or whatever the numbers are. I'm just throwing out numbers, okay?
Right.
So they're looking at this and going, okay, so if I teach a class to 10 trainers, the class takes 6 hours. I can make $2,000 in 6 hours. Which trainer can do that?
You know what? Another huge thing of this is that you actually got access to this demographic of people who the exercise dodgers, who hate exercise, okay? Who don't want to go to the gym. They don't even want the word. So it's a movement method for people who hate exercise because there's nothing out there for people who don't like it.
So that needs to be part of your call to action. Okay. So Nelia and Kat, what are those things that make your program unique? Okay. So like Anne said here, she's got a movement method that isn't really exercise. People hate exercise. They can now think of movement as a way to get healthy. What is different about what you're teaching that's unique about your program that you can bring into your call to action that's going to draw people to wanting to get certified with you? Okay. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And then corporate. Corporate is huge. Okay. But the thing with corporate is you have to have tenacity and you have to create a proper proposal. Okay. For corporate. There are blueprints of proposals in the back office. Don't ask me where. I can ask Rob and figure that out for you. But there are templates for proposals. If you're going to go to corporate, you got to first go up the ladder and find the right person. It's usually the PR person, okay, or the public relations person within the corporation. Or like in my case, Visa, which is a huge corporation who I work for, I'm subcontracted through a subcontractor. So I had to get to the subcontractor to get to the big. So you got to figure out the path. Then when you find the right person, you need to schedule a call or a meeting, and you need to find ways to stand out. So whether it is a wow box, like what Leah talked about at the conference, or whether you send them a nice card and a letter and a proposal, and then you do a follow-up call, or you go in person, create an in-person meeting, but know your stuff if you're going corporate, okay? The other thing, and for everybody else here, which is untapped, and all three of you actually have the potential to work with this population, and it's residential buildings. So office buildings as well as residential buildings where people live. There are a lot of residential buildings with gyms that are built in. And I actually have had 2 residential buildings already that I worked with. And the cool thing about them is that usually, especially if it's a new facility or a new building, they look for ways to sell their apartments. And one of the ways you can pitch to them is by saying, hey, I can come in and you can say you have a resident trainer or a resident massage therapist in your gym. And I never paid to use their gyms because I gave them a proposal saying, okay, you can put this in your folder of people that come and look at the apartments for new residents. And you can tell them that you have a resident trainer and then they can hire me. So you can do 2 things. You can say, for being able to say that, and I'll be in the gym and I'll teach your residents, but you are promoting me to your residents. Or you can say, I can give you a percentage of what comes in through the residents if they require you to pay to use the facility. That way, you're not paying rent for a facility and you don't have people to train, so it's not costing you money.
I thought of another thing that actually worked for me one time, like 25 years ago, and it totally can work again for all kinds of wellness, is getting involved with realtors that sell houses with a designated fitness area.
Right.
So what I got into this Rancho Santa Fe house one time, consulted them on what to put in there, and then trained the whole family at the house, which was absolutely a fantastic.
Exactly. And so Robert teaches this too. And so Nelia, we're talking a little fitness here, I know, but all this is helpful for you too. Robert's advice was actually to create a power partnership with a fitness equipment store. And anybody that comes in and buys equipment, as the resident trainer, you offer them a complimentary session on the new equipment. And then you sell your services that way.
Right, that too, but you get given to the person who bought the house as a gift.
Right.
So that the realtor buys your sessions and gives it to them.
So the realtor has the same function as the fitness equipment store.
Yeah.
So great point. Great point. Yep. Hey, Nelia, in-home massage, right? You can also talk to realtors and go, you know, I will offer a complimentary massage to anybody who buys the house. Maybe the realtor can give you a small kickback, $30 or $40 to go in and do that first massage. And then you can sell yourself during your first session and possibly have a new client.
Especially if there's a
Brilliant,
massage
Anne.
table in the room that's there already, because lots of people have their own massage table. I went to a party and the people had the pole, the massage table, and the hammock in their room.
Oh, the massage table.
Everything.
I love it. So great ideas, you guys. Some great ideas. Brilliant,
Yeah.
Anne. Thank you. So that's a way you can power partner with a realtor. Okay.
Yeah.
For
And
in-home sessions, whether it's in.
Oh, another one I heard of is
Mhm.
if you go to a restaurant and you give them a review and like, you know, you connect and you say, wow, you know, I like this restaurant, and then you tag yourself and put your hashtag, you know, everything there. You kind of connect it to your local restaurants. I mean, it's really a great way of like, you know, just reaching out if you're running out of ideas, but I've got lists of people I still need to
Well,
contact.
thanks for that, Anne. That's super helpful. Restaurant reviews, another way to connect with people. That's all we need to do is connect with people, right? Got a big lecture from Robert last night about growing my following. So, you know, that fits in with that very nicely, Anne. I might tap into some of those.
Especially you just go to that restaurant all the time. You should say to them, listen, we come here all the time. Like, let's do something. And you could even do a workshop at the restaurant.
Right. Great idea. Workshop at the
There's
restaurant.
millions of ways to do things, but I definitely
Workshop in a restaurant. How you would do that?
Oh, I've done many I've done many. You do an educational workshop rather than, you know, whatever. So the restaurant, then you tell them how many people are coming. 20. They give you a head count and they tell you, okay, for 20 people, we can do this much for this much a head. And then you tell them this is how much it costs if you want food. And then they come and they do a specialized thing for you and they put you in the side room or whatever. And you just educate people, like whether it's oils or you can take your machine and put people on your machine. You can do like anything like that.
Yeah. And actually there's a place here in Denver, in not Highlands Ranch, Centennial, called Two Penguins. And they have an extra room where they do Sunday morning yoga classes for people with mimosas. And then after they did their yoga class, people come and all eat at the restaurant. So it's a way to bring people into the restaurants, right? So that's a great way to power partner with restaurants. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah,
that was very,
and
very
one of
helpful.
my ideas that I'm going to start doing, because this park is fantastic, the dog park. It's just brilliant. Yes, I took my ham thing and I hung from the tree and it was brilliant. And I'm going to start doing potluck and play again. So we do a workshop, everyone brings food afterwards, and then we just play in the trees for the rest of however long people want to stay. And they were actually kind of fun. Last time I did the leverage method and the rhino fundraiser. That's what I did, 2 events like that. And that's what I think I'm going to do because it's right up here. It's free.
Fabulous. Awesome. Well, we've run out of time.
Sorry.
Was that helpful? No. Anne,
Yeah,
that's
it
what this
was.
is all about. Did
I'll
you
try it up, man. I'll tell you, I can hardly even like contain myself right now. Like,
did you all get some good ideas?
Yeah.
All learned something today. I can tell Kat's still not feeling 100.
oh, same cat. Sorry.
She's been sick.
So
So,
wellness pro.
but fantastic, you guys. Any questions before we go? Okay, anyone?
No.
Okay, so next week,
I need to digest.
yeah, digest, think about everything you heard and what you can use. Identify those money blocks, and next week we'll come back and we'll talk about how to beat those money blocks. Okay. And also bring your questions. Think about things that you need help with, just like Anne spoke up. And was that helpful? Did you get some ideas?
I got a snort clap of note.
Good, fantastic. Love you all. I'll see you next.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great
Yeah,
day.
you too, girl.
You too.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.